Welcome everybody to another session of Coach Gurbani. This is Ravinder Singh joining you from Columbus. And our focus today is the sixth Pauri of Japji Sahib. So as is our convention, allow me to read the passage first. Tirath Nawa Jetis Pava Vin Pane Ke Nai Kari Jeti Sirt Upai Vekha Vin Karma Ke Mile Lai Mat Vich Ratan Jawahar Manik Jek Gur Ki Sikh Suni Gura Ek Deh Bujhai Sabna Jiyan Ka Ek Data So Main Visar Na Jai. So this is the sixth Pauri, as I said. And before we get into a discussion, I do want to point out that there are different views on how the words na, pawa should be pronounced. Some suggest that there is a nasalization, as in nawa, and there are others who suggest there isn't. I just read them as was natural to me. So I could be wrong, but I'm aware that there are different views on this subject. So let me, by way of introduction, just sort of read out my translation to you. It's not a very long Pauri. So, Tirath Nama Jetis Pama Vin Pane Ke Nai Kari. And the translation goes, immerse in a holy dip I would, if only your pleasure is obtained. Else, to what avail? Now, this was done years and years ago, so I'm reading out a very old translation, but I think it's still pretty, I would do it the same way. So he's saying that immersion in holy places, which usually have a river running alongside, is of no avail if I'm not really walking in your hukam. That is what is meant by your pleasure is not obtained. Then Guru Nanak goes on to say, Jeti sirt upai vekha, vin karma ke mile lai. In your creation, nothing without your grace is attained. This is a very significant line, as we will see, because it connects us to the Pauris that have gone by and also to what is coming, but we'll come back to that later. And then he goes on, Mat vich ratan jawahar manik je ik gur ki sikh suni. To the Guru, if I turn, gems of wisdom would I gain. So there is an instruction here for all of us that it is to the Guru that we have to turn in return for the jewel of wisdom. And he's, of course, referred to various different stones, I guess, here, Jawahar, Ratan, Manik. And I personally think that these are all metaphors for the inner states of our mental structure. They could be referring to our understanding, a discriminating intellect, Vivek Buddh, Uttam Mat, and so on. So I think what he's suggesting here is that if we turn to the Guru or to that innate wisdom, what will accrue to us is wisdom, the wisdom to look at the world in the proper perspective, but more of that later. And then the last two lines are common with the previous passage. Gura ek deh bujhai, sabna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jai. The Guru has revealed this truth. The one giver lords over all beings. Never forget that. So this is a reminder. And this also actually reveals to us the state of the writer, the state of mind of the writer, who has gone through this process and is now seeing through the Guru wisdom, he is actually seeing the interconnection between disparate objects in the material world. So having said that, I think we can discern a pattern in the first 6 pauris. As a matter of fact, I'm of the view that the first 7 pauris are reiterating some of the foundational concepts of Gurbani in order to prepare us for the 8th through the 15th pauris, which then begin the instruction, if you will, on how to actually proceed. So as we have seen, we started with Eko or the one creator that is expressing itself as Satnam. And this Satnam informs the manifest universe as a numinous presence, as knowledge. And then he talks about Hukum in the second pauri. So in the first, he asked the perennial question of what is the truth, or how do I grasp the truth, or put another way, who am I? And then he talks about aligning oneself to Hukum, which in the second pauri he explains briefly, and we can gather that this Hukum that Guru Nanak is talking about is the creative agency, so to speak, which regulates and directs the evolving universe. And it is to this Hukum that we as Sikhs must conform. Our lives must be lived in accord with this Hukum. But the barrier to this is haume, which he touches on in that pauri as well. Nanak hukume je bujhe, ta haume kahe na koi. Haume, of course, refers to our symbolic existence. And this symbolic existence, this sort of exclusive, centered existence, that drives us or impels us into a very self-centered, narcissistic existence. And it obscures Hukum and our true purpose. Then he also touched on Amrit Vela, and we discussed that a little bit as to whether this was a specific clock time, biological time, did it refer to human birth? And I think it might be fair to conclude that it offers the idea of an opportunity to live your life in accord with this Hukum, so that you can then perceive this oneness. Put another way, what that means is that your consciousness, the perspective of your consciousness, then acquires a broader, a more unifying, a more inclusive perspective to life. And I was talking to Chetandeep not long ago, and we were talking about how this then impacts your behavior, how you act towards yourself and how you act towards your work, the world around you, your family, etc., etc. So I see some pattern running through. So Harvinder was talking about what is the connection between the first, second, and third. It seems to me that what he is trying to say here is that in all of these passages, there is always a line about Denda de, Lende thak paye, Sacha Sahib. He talks about the giver. So here again, he's saying that nothing really happens or nothing is really accrued to a human without the giver's grace. That, I think, is the message he's trying to push, that this is what we need to understand. And we need to sort of attune our minds to this. And then I think in the subsequent pauris, he begins to give you intimations on how to do that. That is my understanding of this pauri. And then the subsequent pauri, the coming one, the 7th one, again, is talking to Je Jug Chare Arja Hod Suni. These are yogic practices. So you will see that he's picking on practices, idol worship, all of the things that were happening around him. In the first pauri, he's talking essentially about practices. Then he talks about in the third pauri the impossibility of describing this Hukum. Then he talks about, in this Pauri, he talks about Thapya Najai. In the fifth, he talked about Thapya Najai, which means, you can't create idols. You can't sort of construct this reality. So I think in all of this, what he is saying is that regardless of what you do, if you're not attuned to hukum, you're really missing the mark. So that is the key. You have to anchor yourself into hukum, and then it'll automatically change your behavior. So that's what I have to share. जी तुसी करोगे शुरू?
हाँ जी कर दन्ने जी वाहे खालसा जी फतेह जी. I think I was under the same impression like you. Like this is the continuation of the previous bodies and it is building on top of it. Like in the previous bodies, he is questioning that फेर की आगे रखिए जिद से दरबार, that okay, now it is all, he's questioning the transactional structure which is prevailing at that time, and he's questioning that okay, then what should I offer? And then he's saying मुंहों की बोलन बोली है जित सुन तेरे प्यार. Then he's also questioning that okay, what should I can do with my mouth? And then so that was the another transactional thing that people were saying that okay, you sit in samadhi and repeat one word, or we were offering some things, it was a transactional thing. And then he is going to the next level. In the next body, he is questioning that thapya na jai kita na hoi. He is saying that okay, this idol thing or the idol worship which you think will give you anything, but this cannot be done. He cannot be created or he cannot be established. And then building on top of it, now the another ritual which was very much practiced at that time was bathing or taking bath in the sacred water, or taking bath in the Ganga river, or somebody said okay, taking bath in this pond, or taking bath in this place. So bathing was the other ritual which was being practiced at that time. I think now from the transactional side he has questioned that, and then he has questioned the idol worship, and then he has questioned the samadhi or meditation side of it, and now he is questioning the bathing side of it. And now he's saying that tirath nama jetis pama vin pane ke nai kari, that okay, I can do this, but if it can bring me any benefit. Pane is that I think he's saying that I don't think that if this is going to bring me any benefit, so what is the reason behind doing this? I think he's questioning that I can only do this if this can bring me any benefit as prescribed or as being preached by the others, because now he's questioning that. And then this next line, okay, then it was, I think he's posing a question also, that jeti srisht upai vekha vin karma ke milele, means that when I see around me, when I see jeti srisht and when I see everything around me, how people are achieving things, so vin karma ki milele means, I think ki milele is a question there, because when I am reading it again and again, I think he is questioning. Now, first he said that I will do this bad thing if it brings me any benefit. And then if it does not bring me any benefit, then I should not do it. And now he is questioning that when I see around me, nobody is achieving anything without doing the hard work or the right work, because that is the way. This bad thing is not the way. And he's slowly giving his answer also, that that we should question that if anybody is getting anything or anybody is achieving anything, they are not achieving because of these transactional things, but they are achieving it through the hard work which is called karma, he's saying. And then mat vich ratan jawahar manik jek gur ki sikh suni, and now he's giving the solution. He's taking it to the next level, that what will force you to do the right thing is that if you listen to the guru, and if you listen to the good things, you understand gur ki ek suni, again you understand, you practice, you do the hard work, that will change your that will help you how you achieve it. And then again, our mind, our thoughts, everything drives our action. So I think he's reiterating that okay, our actions are driven by our thoughts, and our thoughts are driven by our knowledge. So he's taking us to that model that okay, the right knowledge will bring right thoughts, and then right thoughts will result into right actions. I think that is where he is taking us.
And
And then, like in the previous body, he is again saying the ek onkar concept is reiterated here, that Gura ek de bujai sabna jiyan ka ek data, so mai visar na jai. That okay, there is only one giver. You don't have to do this transactional thing in front of an idol. You don't have to do a transactional thing by sitting or meditating. You don't have to do a transactional thing by taking a bath or something. This whole hukam, he is explaining that okay, there is a process, and which is nirpao and nirvair. So he is again giving the solution and
Hanji,
us away from the transactional side of it. Thank you, Virji.
Hanji, thank you, Ji. So Chetandeep, before I hand off to you, I found some very interesting observations that Dilpreet made. I didn't take count, but he used the word transaction a lot. So he seems to suggest that we should not be transactional in what we do. But the thought that occurred to me, and I want you to address this if you can, or at least the forum to address this, the thought I had is that humans are by nature transactional. You know, I mean, in whatever we do in the world, it is a give and take, and it is transactional. So I'd like you to shed some light on that if you can. The second thing that Dilpreet mentioned was that he's reading karma as actions. And I wonder if that is the correct reading of karma here, because if you look at the previous Pauris, the context is always of denda de, a giver. So the question to the rest of you, including Chetandeep, is how do you see karma? Do you think what is being said here is grace, that nobody really gets anything without grace, that because there is only one giver? That would be consistent with the previous Pauris. And I think when he's asking that question, what he's saying is kinu milya without grace. So when karma, kinu milya. So I want you to, if you can, touch on some of this. And of course, related to that, see if you can address the fact that he has picked on the prevailing modes of worship in India at the time, whether they were mental practices of trying to stay silent, whether they were practices of pilgrimages, whether they were yogic practices. Is Guru Nanak, and this is a question for, is he really condemning them, or is he saying that none of these as an end in themselves is going to really amount to anything? Regardless of what you do should help you to attune to hukam, because that is his underlying theme, that in whatever we do, we have to do it from the pivot of hukam. So I just want to throw this question out there because Dilpreet's raised some very interesting observation. Chetandeep, you want to go next?
Hanji, thank you for that. I think you shared a lot of thought. So I'm going to try to touch on all these. I think before the discussion started, Ravinder was asking what's the connection between the first three lines. And when you started and you actually just read out the passage, at least something clicked in my mind, and I felt that there was, the connection to me, at least in my mind, was pretty clear between the first three lines, just by the way you read the first three lines. So, and the way I made that connection was that you're right, he's touching upon the practices that are prevalent at the time. And before I go into the specific one here, Tirath, I want to make a comment. As you said, he's not condemning those practices, even given in the first body. And I'll take an example of silence, as in chuppe chup na ho gayi, right? So that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be silent. I mean, unless we find some quiet in our lives, how are we able to connect with ourselves if we are not even silent? So I don't think he's condemning any of the practices here, but you're right. He's saying, and then coming to this particular party, he's saying, like, yes, everybody goes to Tirath and they bathe there at Tirath, but then he's saying, Vin Pane ke naikari. Ke naikari is like a phrase or a question. Ki kinu ki eda da keda nana hoya. What ke naikari? What sort of bathing is this that you are doing at a Tirath? And then similarly, the next line is ke milelai. So even the grammatical structure of the sentences is ke naikari or ke milelai. It's a question ki vin karma ke without the grace, who has got it? Right? So just the sentence structure. And as you said, vin karma ke, in fact, even the second last line in this body, he's asking, Gura ik de bujai. He's asking. The theme is denda de, right? So de bujai. He's asking for that grace or that gift. So I pretty much feel that the message here is of the grace. And looking at the first two lines again, he's saying like everybody is going to Tirath and bathing, but then he's saying the real bathing is Jetis Pava, right? Ude Hukam. Hukam is the theme. And he's saying without the Hukam, what sort of bathing is this? And that I think he clarifies in 21st or 22nd, Antargat Tirath Mal now, right? That becomes very clear. And he's saying the connection between the first two lines is, he's saying, I look everywhere around me, that the practices people are doing, Jeti Sir Thupai Vekha, or that everybody is doing, but he's saying without grace, who has got it? Right? I mean, it's very important message, as he said. And then we are asking for it in the end. Gura ik de bujai, give me that gift, give me that grace. And to me, personally, I think the last line is very important, especially the word visar, because I feel it playing out in my own life every single day. And here he sings, Gura ik de bujai, like show me the oneness or give me the grace or the gift that I can see the oneness because I forget. So मैं विसर ना जाए. And I mean, at least I have been coming to this forums and other forums for a long time, and intellectually or mentally, I know that everybody is one, but I forget it all the time. And I was sharing this with Ravinder Virji today, not so long ago, that, and I'll share with this forum in the spirit of sharing something personal, that over the holidays last year, someone sent us a holiday card, and they did not write my name on the envelope. They just wrote my wife's name. And it has been almost 2 months since that day, that whenever my wife brings up that person and I'm like, what sort of person is that? They didn't even write my name. And here we are talking about recognizing one in everybody and saying, "Ki mainu ik bujha de." I see us versus me playing out in my daily life all the time. Yes, in the morning I wake up and I know that, yes, everybody is one. But it's not playing out in my life like that. My life is, I mean, Guru Sahib is saying, Matvish Ratan Jawahar Manik. But when I look inside my own head, I see all sorts of like trash in my own head. And especially what happens, at least with me, and the reason I forget Visar na jai is, like, in my own head, I feed a lot of ideas, like everybody is one and I'm not going to get angry and so on. But something changes when I come across a person. Like the interpersonal dynamics are so, the body language or the emotions, that all those ideas or of being, recognizing one in everybody, they just fly out of the window. And I just get triggered in various ways, be it anger, be it, I don't know, uh, being a passive aggressive behavior or whatever. But I just forget at that particular moment that I am supposed to live this message and not just recite like I do or I have been doing for my whole life, like ever since I was a child, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are my thoughts, Virji, on this body so far.
Thank you, Chetandeep, for sharing the inner state of your mind. It takes a lot of courage to share that. I mean, on our forums, as I was telling you, we are all very adept at intellectualizing or abstracting these truths, but we rarely, if ever, exchange what our minds are really thinking or how they are behaving. So thank you for sharing that. Hanji, Satinder Virji, on to you.
Vajji ka Khalsa, Vajji ki Fateh. Yes,
Hanji.
just I was listening and just I'm trying to correlate all the things in a simple way that it's a kind of a teaching to a person like me that I should restrict myself to a one situation, that super situation, instead of going left and right to the various other places. The last body, Guru Sahib said, "Thapa na jaye, kirtan na jaye." I should not go towards idealisms. I should not keep the picture and start doing the part for that. One thing is clear. Second thing is very clear. I should not go for the pilgrimage, having the bed there. If by doing so I believe that I will get the God, the answer is no, we will not able to get it. So when after ruling out these two things, the third things comes that how can I reach that place? Jete says to pai vekha wind karma ke mile nahi. So third, here I feel in that way. In the Srishti, there's so many things. I should control my thoughts. I should control myself. I should do only hard work. And the God will give me whatever it is in my karma. But I should not feel frustrations. To control my frustrations, the Guru Sahib said, karma de which je hoega, I'll get it. So be within your limit and do your hard work so that I should not forget my one thing. You have used very beautiful word, the vanaj, transactional. Vanaj karo banjaryo, vakhar leho saman. So I had to concentrate only on one thing, that is to take the vanaj and towards that God's name. For that purpose, again, Guru Sahib said that you have the capability. How I have the capability? Matish Ratan Johar Manak. The Guru Sahib has given me so many things in my mind. Mind is full of gems, jewels are all the things, and bad things are also there. But if we listen to the Guru's teaching, then we can take out all the good things out of our mind. We can concentrate towards one thing and do our vanage in a better way. So main the crux of situation is how can we do the better transactions, better vanage. Gura ik de bujai. The God has given me that understanding that if sabna jiyan ko ek data, if that superpower is the super situation, super soul, so I should always keep that thing in our mind. I should do all the time Simran and keep him in his mind. That will be the situation. By doing so, I'll take care of the rest of the things automatically. That's how I feel in that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Virji. So again, I want to pose this question in another way, because Satinder Virji also shared, I should not be idol worshipping, and I'm not suggesting that we should. The question I have is that all communities, when we are a collective group, there are group activities, group behaviors that develop, regardless of which community or group we are talking about. So when we say, don't go to a pilgrimage, well, the question might be, why not? There are some benefits of going to a pilgrimage, and I'm just throwing this out. The benefits being a feeling of community, a feeling of oneness with others. It encourages that sort of feelings. We do kirtan together, but even in kirtan, people's minds are not there necessarily all the time. It's floating all over the place. So I think the real point is, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, apart from immoral activity, whatever you do has to be done from the perspective of hukam. It should be something that brings you closer and more in alignment with hukam, whether it is sitting in kirtan, whether it is sitting in silence, as Chetandeep said, and so on and on. And I would like, Gurdeep Virji, I'd like you to address this. I'm coming to you now for your thoughts.
Okay, Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa,
Khalsa,
Vaheguru
Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh ji.
ਕੀਰਤਨਾਵਣ ਤੀਰਤਨਾਵਾਂ ਜੇ ਤਿਸ ਭਾਵਾਂ ਬਿਨ ਭਾਣੇ ਕਿਆ ਕਰੀ You see, Gurbani says, bin podiyan kyo mandir chadiye Ram, bin bedi parna ambade Ram. These are all steps we are going up and the clarifications. Tirth navan jao, tirth naam hai. Tirth sabd vichar, antar gyan hai. So, because if you are only thinking that we can eradicate our sins by just going to the pilgrimage, to go to the Ganga or whatever other places were, it won't work. But we have to Baro Toti Tumbadi Navan Chale Tirthi under Visnikor, Baro Toti Tumbadi, Dopo Chadia Sohor, Chor So Chora Chor. Unless we clear inside first, it's good to go. But what intention? If my intention only that I will go once at the end of the year, it will eradicate all my sins I committed during 1 year. So where I go to Ganga and take a, or go to Ambarisara, any Tirtha, you go, it will eradicate. This doesn't work. Here the Guru Nanak Dev Ji is correcting us, okay, what is the real effect? Loki, that's Kabir Ji's Bani. Loki, that's a kiyasi kene koi kode phal hunda. We cook it, a vegetable. Loki, arsad tirth nai, kora pan to na jai. Kya Kabir Bachari, Pavsagar Tar Murari. So if we are only thinking to eradicate our sins, even in Christianity, you know, if I'm not mistaken, they say once you go and accept your sins in front of the priest and all that, he will say, okay, fine, this has been eradicated. But there is a question, at the same time, you have to promise you will not repeat it. Same things in our Gurbani, it says, Satgur Sikh ke bandhan kaate, Guru ka Sikh Bikarte hate. From that point onward, because we have feel both Avgun and Gun. Avguni Parpur hai, Gunvi vase naal, Nanak Guna na jape jichar sabd na kare vichar. So in our body, everything is there. They are existing side by side, bad, good deeds, good karma. But how to bring that into practice? As you are right, the hukam manana. Like it's not that easy. In my simple words, it's a psychotherapy for us to live a healthy, happy, and holy life. So this is a kind of psychotherapy. Once we develop this kind of habit that we'll be happy, whatever he does, we have to be happy. But we have to bring the strength. Strength will come from Naam. Naam Simran, that will give you strength. Or the history. You see, Akbar once told the people to short a line without erasing it. He drew another longer line beside it. He said, now your line has become shorter. If you think of Guru Gobind Singh, how old was his life? Age 42 years, 4 sons, mother, father, himself. So that shortens our line. How much problem we have in the life. With somebody getting a divorce or somebody's son has died younger, some problem, we get so much sick. The whole world is full of these problems and the hospitals are full. There's no room for that. But if we practice this sincerely and we have to pray to God, that's the Naam Simran. Now let's say I think it's done. Now Jeti Siddhavai, Veka Bin Karma Ke Milele. You see, Dadde Dosna Dev Kise, Dos Karma Apane, Jo Mai Kiya, So Mai Paya, Dosna Dije, Avarjana. They come out from same school, same degree. Somebody having a rich, good practice, is doing a very nice practice. Somebody even don't find a job. So to whom is going to curse now? Same education, same school, same thing. You often see people around us. So this again, our own fault. We didn't do a good karma, neither in the past life, nor now. So if we stick to the good karma, we will get the award of it. Mat vich ratan jawahar manik, jek gur ki sikh suni ik. That's the first word, as Ravindra told us in the first day, at the beginning of this. Ik is one. So ultimately we have to get back to that ik. Jai ik gur ki sikh suni. Sikh is the whole Guru Granth Sahib. That's the whole Sikhya. Everything what we are discussing, this is the Sikhya. Once we get Kaya andar nau khand prithvi. Hat patan bajara, Kaya khoje e pashe tiji, Guru Amar Das ji. Kaya khoje so gurmukh hoga. Mat vich ratan jawahar manik, je ek gur ki sikh suni. So all these good attributes, actually Manik and Moti and Jawar, it's not the stones which we have outside, but everything is in the body, are these good actions, everything. But if we listen to ik, we are not command. I know there are different opinions, but my opinion is that Guru is telling us this. He's trying to explain us about ik. Sabna jiyan ka ik data, so main visna jai. Lot of problem in the world will be solved if it's ek pita, ek iske hum barg, tu mera ghar hai. You know, if we really follow this philosophy, we'll have no prejudice with on any ground, caste, religion, color, nothing. You know, so this is a wonderful thing. This, excuse me, this is what I could explain. This is my thinking.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much. Before I come to Ranaveer Ji, again, I want to bring up something that Gurdeep Ji mentioned, the idea of sin. I'm not sure that it is such a fundamental idea in Sikhi. I mean, we are really talking about awakening and being asleep. So, Ranaveer Ji, what are your thoughts on this conversation so far?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hanji, well, let me first say that I enjoyed various perspectives which come up, but they have also given me some contradictory thoughts in my mind. That's my weakness, and let me share some of those things. Let me start with a little story here that there was a beggar sitting there and he was begging. A gentleman was passing by and he asked the gentleman to give some money. And gentleman said, "Oh, why don't you work hard and earn money?" And the beggar said, "Just sit down next to me and try to beg and see how hard it is to beg." So the question came up. I think the BP said that karma means the hard work. People who are doing idol worship, people who go to this pilgrimage, and people who do silence, for example, it's very hard work. It's not mad. We have to see what hard work we are talking about. The karma here, I think I agree with Chetan Deep, what he said, that Guru Sahib is not denouncing all these ritualistic practices. I think what he suggests is, to me, I thought these ritualistic practices are the first step to ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਾਂਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ you have to clean up that panda before naam can come in. Naam to us is the total wisdom in Guru Granth Sahib. That is what the naam is. Wisdom which is in the sense of Gurbani. That's the naam. Before naam can really settle down, I think these processes are indeed essential. For example, you're sitting there and sitting in silence. And of course, what is trying to do? You are trying to refine yourself, your inner processes. You are going to teach, as you said, they go with a group of people. We are social beings, and we draw a lot of energy, lot of energy and a lot of intelligence and a lot of insight by socializing people. I think it's not that we should be denouncing these things. Teach navan jetis pavan win pane ke nahi. Guru Sahib is saying, yes, I don't hesitate to do that, but I want to make sure that I draw something out of it. And then come back to my mainstream, which is Nam Japna. Nam Japna is basically try to Matu Charatan Jawar Manik Je Ek Gur Ki Suni. Then I'm able to understand wisdom which is coming for Gurbani. And that wisdom is going to basically enlighten me inside. I wouldn't understand the term mat, how mat is developed, although mat, we always talk about the intellect and intelligence, but I don't know how mat and mind is related. So that's a different topic to talk about. And then the point you said, I think Ravinder Vijay said very nicely, that the lesson or the key points which we understood from the previous 5 Pauris, there's one thing was giver's grace. Now, if everything is through giver's grace, then I sit back now and say what we are supposed to do. If everything is going to happen, and I think Gurmani says repeatedly this, and we have to reconcile this concept, giver's grace, versus what the PG is saying, you have to do hard work. How to align these two basically contradictory concepts. So when you said giver's grace, and I okay, here Guru Sahib is saying, Matar Jawan Manak J Gur ki Siksni before the Jeti Pai Vekha Vin Karma ke Mile Hi. That means there's so many things happening in this world. It's a wondrous world, beautiful world. But everything we attain, we get, we receive, or we enjoy is without karma, you can't have it. And that goes back to giver's grace. And then final point I just want to make that you are saying the perspective of hukam. If we are doing silence or whether we are doing Teethnama, we should have the perspective of hukam. I got confused. What does that mean now? How can we bring perspective of hukam when we are doing sitting in silence or going to Asar or going some other Teerth places? So that is my take, and I think we got different and wonderful insights, and I really enjoyed it. So this is my few cents.
Anji, thank you very much, Ranavirji. Some interesting topics to talk about, but maybe another day. We have 15 minutes, and we have Gurjeet Singh Virji.
Today I will discuss my understanding of Pauri number 6. Before that, I would like to answer a question from last week's discussion. Gaviya suniye man rakhiye pao, dukh par har sukh kar le jaye. The word dukh comes with an onkar. And in Gurbani, the dukh has been defined in very much detail. What is that dukh? In Sola Bani, we read it, Sakat hariras swad na janiya, in antar homme kanda hai. This homme is the dukh. Because of that, ju chala chuba dukh pawe, jamakal science se danda hai. This reincarnation within this Pavsagar is the dukh. Harijan, what the Purna Brahma have achieved, Harinam Samadhi. They have got into the stage of Purna Brahma. Their mind, the outer consciousness have merged into the inner consciousness. From Jeev, it has transformed to a Purna Brahma, Dukha Janam Marana of Khandai. This is a step towards finishing your reincarnation in Maya. Now let's start with this Pauri, Tirathanawa. This word has to be read with a ha-ha, ha-ha, because otherwise the word becomes Nawa, which is a noun. Tirathanawa is a verb. Jet is Pama. Vinpane ke nai kari. Now this is being addressed to the transcendent by an immanent. We are not clear. The Jeev is immanent. When it becomes Purna Brahm, then it is advancing towards the stage of transcendent. And then, Jeti Sirth Upai Vekha Vin Karma Ke Milelai. Sirthi Upai has come from a transcendent source. Guru Nanak or Bhagats have not Upai the Srishti, but he is trying to tell us something from this Panthi. I'm only discussing firstly the transcendent and immanence. Matavicharatan Jawahar Manak Je Ek Gur Ki Sikh Suni. This is an effect happening in an immanence, in the Jeev, who is broken in two. Gura Kide Bujai is a prayer towards transcendent by a Purna Brahm. Sabana Jiyan Ka Data is again a transcendent. Soma Visna Jai is again a Purna Brahm, who has just finished his eminence and is advancing in an intermediate stage. So we have to be very clear. Vinapane ke Naikari is also introduced because the word of man has been introduced in the last Pauri. Gaviya Suniya Mane Rakhiye Pao. And that man has been explained as Mani Mele Sab Kich Mela Tan Tutte Man Hacha Na Hoy. The whole Bani is trying to take us from eminence to the transcendent stage, but just by washing the body or reciting words, we are not going to achieve that state. That is what being repeatedly told. What is Pana? Jeti Sirtupai Vikha Vin Karma Ke Milelai is all about the bakshish, which is coming from the Par Brahm. Tirth Nama Jetis Pama Vinpane Ki Nai Kari. The Pana has been described as Gurke Pana, which Amrita has Sahaje Pave Koi. So we have to be in association with our mool. That is drinking of Amrit, Sahaje Pave Koi, the mind get enlightened. Jina Prabhat Tin Piya. What is Tin Piya is our man buddhi together. Home vichon koi. The Thapena Jai is the one who is sitting at the door, but he's not being let into the house because of this home of his on his surface. So when the mind, who is the surface or the outer consciousness, lose the home, then this Jeev is advancing towards that Parbrahm stage, which is known as transcendent state. Cheko nau trae vadda swad kare man paane. This is also happening with the Jeev. Khasme nadri kida ave, which will be discussed in the next body. Jitte chuge dane. Then the next concept we need to clear is mat vich ratan jawahar manak. Within the mat is sitting my mool. The mool is being addressed as Jawahar Manak. How will you achieve? How the man buddhi will achieve? Je ik gur ki sikh suni. Guru Upadesh Jawahar Manak Seve Sikh so khoj lahi. This is what Guru Sikh is all about. Whatever is written in the word, we have to follow that and get associated with our mool. The mool is Manak or Jawahar. Otherwise, if the mind doesn't go that way, that will be addressed in body number 20. Pariye mat papa ke sangi, o tope name ke rangi. That name word is also telling us to attain those virtues of our mool. Je ik gur ki sikh suni. How to listen to that? E man gur ki sikh sun, har pave guni nidan. Through Gurbani, we are only associating with our Hari, not with Vaheguru. That's why Vaheguru is not a Naam in Gurbani. Virtues of Hari is the Gyan to the Man. Nanak 300 paya, jin Gur ki Sikh suni. This is also being told us. Gur ki Sikh is only putting us in a stage of Puran Brahm. Then, Gura ikde bujhai. Guru Nanak says that I want to tell the world about that oneness. But I don't want to say anything from my side. I want you to speak through me so that I am in a constant association with the Shabad. When we say Vaheguru Gur Mantar hai is one side, but there's also, it's written that Namaskar Gurudev ko Satnam Jin Mantra Sunaya. There's a confusion. And in that, we can say, this part is missing. Guru Aikade Bujai is only in Ved. When we read all the Gurbani, because before Guru Nanak, 15 Bhagats have done this. So my understanding is that Guru Aikade Bujai is important from Vedic point of view because Guru Nanak don't want to speak on behalf of anyone else. Totally on behalf of that transcendent Sachkhand. Sabna Jiyan ke Data, that is what is, and the prayer is coming from Guru Nanak. If Guru Nanak is Guru, then whom is he praying to? Guru Aikade Bujai is Guru and Nanak is Satguru. And that's what Nanak is praying to. I'll finish my discussion here. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Anji, thank you, Jidveer Ji, and thank you very much for a great conversation. We'll see you all next week. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.